Well, this episode today, it really got under my skin. They've gone to the country retreat, right? Basically, Hannah ain't got no manners, rubbing up on Ryan's foot, saying about how, oh, like you've got really beautiful eyes and whatever. Holly's like, oh, when she came around to my place, she's like, saying to Alex, oh, you go gym. Oh, you go gym. But you see, when you start talking about giving a foot massage and a foot rub with toes and base foot and so what? So she's coming to your space, right? Picked up your man's foot, picked up the foot, started rubbing up the foot and started saying how, oh, you got really nice eyes. Okay, see you later. Like, I don't understand that. So Orson and Rochelle, I told you, yeah, that I would rather go back to work. Right? You're a penny now. Now's not the time to get brave, yeah? Listen, what go people thems? Well, when I say that I am ready to talk this evening, let me have something to say. Listen, I know that I have a lot to say usually anyway, but you see, this episode today, it really got under my skin because I got stuff to get off my chest as a viewer. Obviously, it doesn't actually concern me at all. Yeah, but like as a viewer, boy. Okay, so they've gone to the country retreat, right? They've all gone up to the country retreat. Big troop of them. They're like, it's like a cottage compound thing, and it looks as though that like certain people, sharing with certain people. So you've got like Polly and Adam that are sharing with Alex and Holly, I think. You've got Luke and Amy that are sharing with Hannah and Stephen. Sasha and Ross, I don't know who they're sharing with, or Kieran. I don't know who anyone else is sharing with, but they're sharing with different people, right? Then it cuts to the kitchen that Holly, Lacey, Nathan, and Shannon, I think, are in. And basically, Holly's recounting this story that, like, oh, basically Hannah ain't got no manners. Like, last night she basically was rubbing up on Ryan's foot, saying about how, oh, like you've got really beautiful eyes and whatever. And they were all like, this is so out of order. And Shannon's like, that's just not on. Like, you don't go around and treat other people's men like that. Lacey's saying the same thing. That's not how you do things around here, And she's got no manners. Holly's like, oh, when she came around to my place, she's like, saying to Alex, oh, you go gym. Oh, you go gym. You go gym. Like, whatever. Right, so they're all beefing about it being like inappropriate. And I'm hearing this story, and me and my bestie were talking about it because he picked up on the same thing, being like, oh, she's like, oh, you definitely go to the gym, and I was like, I didn't see that as being flirty. Like, I can see that Holly felt a bit of a way about it, and Adam, my best mate, was like, oh, he was like, yeah, that was a bit out of order and stuff. But I was like, I don't really understand that because, like, to me, it's what you're gonna look at Alex and say that he doesn't go to gym. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's an observation. Like, I don't understand like why that would be a thing, but I appreciate that in these kind of environments that can be seen as like some kind of hostile action. Maybe, I don't know. But you see, when you start talking about giving a foot massage and a foot rub with toes and base foot and so what? So she's coming to your space, right? You and your husband are chilling there. She's picked up your man's foot, picked up the foot, started rubbing up the foot, and started saying how, oh, you got really nice eyes. Okay, see you later. Like, I don't understand that. And from the off, I'm like, something don't sound right about that story. Now, I'm not saying it's completely fabricated because Shannon is standing right there, and when Lacey asked her, like, would you pull her up about it? She's like, you know what, potentially, yeah. You need to tell me you've not already spoken about it. You think anybody could come into me? I don't like feet. I mean, so to be honest, rather you than me. But obviously nobody. But you're not gonna come into my space where I'm chilling with my partner, right? And start picking up their foot and rubbing up their foot, toe like you need nut dumpling, and like, your eyes are like that. What do you mean? And it's the next day and you're in the kitchen with everybody else talking about it. Like, I don't buy that at all. That story does not sound right. That doesn't sound right to me. I can't even remember the exact order. I think it goes from there and it shoots across to Orson and Rochelle. I've been calling her Rochelle, but on the show today it was like Rochelle, so I've obviously got that wrong. Anyway, so they are in like And we're talking like the latter parts of what I consider some kind of arguments with someone that you may never speak to again, because like this is awful. Like it's just hate at this point. So Rochelle is like, you know, well, the actual clip actually cut to when they're looking at where they'd be staying and stuff, and she's like, oh, well, I bet yours won't be too different to this then. Because let me make it 150% clear, yeah, we ain't staying in the same space. Just to be very clear. So, you know, take up the surroundings, and because I don't know where you're going with that big old suitcase. I don't know where you're going with the suitcase. And then they're getting into it, and basically she's like, you know, so, you know, I just don't think that we'll be, you know, if it's wise for us to spend any time as I cause you so much distress, you know. And at this point, like, because my thoughts and like feelings about what I was seeing definitely went on a bit of a journey, right? But the bits of this, I was like, okay, you're getting on at him for having an opinion, yeah, that he expressed which you weren't aware of. But Rochelle though, honey Bill, you are again a 48-year-old, very articulate, very switched on person. At what point do you think calling someone a cretin, yeah, a cretin that ain't got not a man, that man's gonna leave me anyway, weak with your 5 year sub story, with your broken heart, like you're not even mentally stimulating. What point do you think these are things that would make him not be in distress? Like, at what point are you hearing this and going, oh, you know, I'm having such a peachy dandy time with me and my wife. Yeah, she thinks I'm not a man and that I'm dry. Sick. Like, and you're cussing him, being like, well, you never told me that, because if you told me that, I would have written leave. And, you know, I would. And she said, no. And she said, I told you, yeah, that I would rather go back to work. Right? It's not funny. It's not funny because it is a very toxic situation, yeah. And you should not be in the space of someone like that that's going to make you feel so incredibly bad about yourself. Like, if that's the case and you're not feeling it, just, I beg you, pick up yourself and go about your business. Like I've said it before, I said it again, you do not need to be around someone like that. If everything I do is so bad, then, like Orson said, she's like, all she does is criticism. Like, I haven't heard her say one nice thing, apart from when she said to her friend about, well, the body good. Nothing else. I've not heard nothing else. Nothing positive about Orson. At that point, I was like, oh, Rochelle, man, I can't abide her. Like, she's just too much, man. But then, what I did kind of see with her on, well, the two things I saw with her on, the one where she said, look, like, I didn't want to leave. I wish we would have left, because, like, you know, if you're feeling that much in distress and you've checked out, what on earth are we still doing here? See what I mean? Like, I told you I wanted to go back to work. Sorry. I told you I wanted to go back to work. I was ready to go back to work. I make it in time for my daughter's birthday. Right, so, and I didn't want to write leave and just leave again. Do you know what I mean? Because I've already done that once before, and I have respect to you and the process. I was like, you know, we will decide when we're ready to leave. And you said, and I was like, okay, that's actually quite respectful. That's actually like very respectful. I didn't expect that. And what came after this conversation was, him saying, so you said you wanted to leave, and she's like, I'm sorry, like, do you not remember us having that conversation? He's like, I don't remember. So you don't remember me saying to you that this, and it did seem a bit like he was almost trying to say that he didn't recall. But I think the point he was trying to make was, look, you said you didn't want to leave because we were going to leave together, but ultimately I can't control what you want to do. So if you wanted to go, you could have put go. But it was coming across like he didn't remember. And I was like, well, that doesn't look good, Orson, really, because you are kind of proving a point that, I don't know. I think liar is a bit of a stretch, really, but you are going on like it's not the first time that she said that you're acting like you don't remember what we've spoken about. But then when she started going about the company and the company's not registered with company's house, I'm just like, who hired Poirot? Who hired Poirot? Like, I'm not saying you don't need to do your due diligence. I mean, I'm not saying that at all, but I just feel like these are things that don't need to be on camera conversations. I mean, you're coming for every part of who he is. You're coming from his integrity, like his intellect, his worthiness to even like have a stimulative conversation, his livelihood. Like, you know, you've really left nothing about this man that you have not hung, drawn, and quartered? Nothing. And he, to be fair to you, has not really run you like that. But for him to be like, I don't even want to be around you. I actually don't even want to be around you. And she's like, well, good. I don't want to be around you either. And she's like, I hope you enjoy the rest of your holiday. She's like, yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of yours. He's like, I've actually lost respect for you. And then she's like, I lost respect for you from the honeymoon. From the honeymoon. Like, I don't even see a friendship after this. I'm sorry. You can come on national TV and talk about me like that. Like I've really done you something so bad. I'm all for standing in your truth, yeah, and not letting someone take you for chips. But you see, when you just have to, enough, man. I don't need to pummel every aspect of who you are. If you're not for me, you're not for me. I don't need to be around it. It's cool. We don't need to do no more of this. Safe, fine. It then cuts to Stephen and Hannah. Like I said, they're sharing a cottage with Luke and Amy. So they're like, settling in and stuff, and it's a bit frosty. Like Hannah's like, Stephen's literally talking to everyone else but me. He's like, we haven't spoken since the commitment ceremony. We've not said one word to each other. So he's having bants and stuff with everyone else, but he's not talking to me. And that's it. Sorry, just before that. So when they're in the kitchen, they're talking about Ryan's foot. They also mentioned about the fact that she had tried to, she wanted Orson to hold her hand in order to make Stephen jealous when he was walking up to her. And they're saying, that's not iron, you're trying to make things work with your husband, and you're doing like silly games like that. So, when Amy and Hannah and Stephen and Luke are all, bedding down, and not bedding down, but they're getting into the cottage and settling down and stuff. Like Luke's like, I think it's going to be a little bit awkward with Hannah and Stephen because they're obviously not in a good place. But he's like, I'm going to be like Switzerland, man, neutral. Like we're good. It's nothing to do with me. Like blessed. From the clip that we saw yesterday about him saying like, oh, you know what, I don't think I'm going to stay with you or whatever. Or that actually I'm out. I thought that would have been at the end of the retreat. I didn't think that was like from the minute that they didn't even put down the suitcase good. So he's like, look, your behaviour has been awful or atrocious or something like that. And she's like, my behaviour's been, what do you mean? She's like, you getting other husbands to hold your hand to try and make me jealous, yeah? And she's like, are you being serious? She's like, well, yeah. And she's like, I'm just bantering. Well, don't banter about me, mate. Do you know what I mean? And he's like, but she's like, you're taking everything the wrong way. And she's like, well, for me, I think it's bang out of order, and I'm out. And she's like, well, why do you say you try then? She's like, well, I said I wanted to leave. So to be honest, like he's so done, and it's like, I don't know, man. I feel like when I spoke to my bestie about this last night, like I was saying that for me, the whole her asking Orson to hold her hand, to me isn't out of character with the very first Hannah that we met on the wedding day. Like on the wedding day when he was like, I'm after like feisty and fiery and out there, and her friends were talking about the kind of person that she is and stuff. Like I would absolutely expect her to be like, yes, go and make him jealous, in like like she's in kind of like a bantery way, not in kind of like, oh, because he's really gonna look at like Orson and me as this thing and be like, oh yeah, like not like that. Like I'm not saying she's like, I'm not in her head, so I can't categorically say that she wasn't trying to be a flirt and just be a duplicitous like bag lady, all right. But I don't just based on her reactions to what he's saying and her hearing about how this rumor's got around and stuff, like it doesn't strike me that she's like, I was genuinely trying to like make you jealous. Like it was just like a throwaway thing, really, like a joke. Let's try and make him jealous, like and when someone's not giving you anything, and he's not giving her anything, like even just that response there, like he was looking for any reason to not stay in there, to not share a room with her, to not be in her presence, to not be around her. Like it's really clear that his battle lines have been drawn. He's written leave, like he said he's gonna try, but it's like I said yesterday. It's like, what does your try look like? What does your try look like? So anyway. So that rumour's obviously got back to him, and she doesn't even know about the foot rub rumour yet. So he's then gone. She's obviously in tears, or trying not to be in tears, but she's in tears. And Amy, like bless her, is consoling her and stuff, and because I think the thing that like a lot of people are forgetting here, which is why I did feel really bad for her, is that she everybody wants to feel like they're accepted, right? This is like when you go to school and you start a new workplace, like. when you go to a gym or you join a new club or anything like that, nobody likes to be that new person that like has got no connections with anybody. Like it's so lonely to be in that kind of position, right? And it's like she's been painted to be this secret telling, public bashing, bad mind, man grabbing like person, and I'm like, where, like, how has it been painted so badly that she's been made out to be this really awful person? Like, and I just don't think that's fair. Like, I mean, look, as I said, as the episode goes on, my thoughts might have changed. But in that particular moment, I'm like, this is really bad mind. It's not fair that everyone's kind of turned on her and throwing all these things about her and whatever. And that he's almost relishing in the fact that, like, yeah, well, because you got to ask the question, right? If she genuinely didn't have feelings for him, like, or want something with him, why on earth would she have written stay? Why would she have written stay? She doesn't come across as someone that's a business owner, owns her own gym or whatever. Like, that doesn't, it's not sensible. Like even the way that she bants and stuff, and even the way that she talks, it's just very. I feel as though what you see is what you get with her. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't. It doesn't seem like there's like ulterior motive. Do you know what I mean? Which is, I think, the reason why when she did that whole thing on the honeymoon about like, oh, we can all tell. Like, I think that was just her saying, you just said you weren't gonna do that, and you've just done it. So what if I did that now? You know what I mean? Like, that's the vibe I think she was. I don't think she ever was gonna do it, but I think she's just very like, what you see is what you get. Anyway, so they're all trying to Luke and Amy are trying to console her, and it's kind of going well, but not really. Then Amy gets upset, and Luke's upset because Amy's upset. Kieran and Christina maybe, and like she's obviously dealing with um, her PMDD, I think it's called, which is obviously really affecting her. But this episode really just shows how much he's there for her. It's really cute, actually. He's just like, whatever Christina wants, Christina's gonna get. Do you know what I mean? Like, as a husband, I'm gonna be there for her. And like, they've still not been able to do any hanky panky. Which again, I still think, peeps, yeah, I still think it's a bit weird because I'm like, I mean, obviously this is different because she's obviously going through her PMDD, but they weren't really talking about that. They were talking about like the cold sore, and I'm like, but that isn't the only thing you can do to be like intimate with each other and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. But as I said, she was going through her PMDD anyway, so that probably wasn't gonna happen. But really cute, nice little scene with them in the bath and stuff, and with his ukulele and making up the little songs and stuff. I was like, oh, that's really cute. Then there's like another conference meeting, yeah, between Polly, Holly, Alex. I can't remember who was standing next to Alex. It might have been Adam actually. And basically they've just been like, oh, she's gonna write this the whole wrong way. Like, she's got no manners. Like, Hannah's, she's hungry. She's going after people's men and stuff. She's been flirting with Nathan, is flirting with obviously Orson and stuff. And Polly's just like, the glass of wine, it's like, I just think it's out of order. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, it's just not on. And again, talking about some of the things she's flirted with, again with the gym thing and the foot thing and whatever. So they're all like really cementing these opinions about Hannah, right? And then there was a clip where Alex was chilling in the hot tub with Orson. I just thought it was really like, I loved it because I just love to see like dudes, especially black guys in particular, who like stereotypically are not great with their emotions, but like it was cool them having like a boys conversation. Do you know what I mean? Like, and finding out how awesome was, and whatever. But I just thought because he's so hench and his little like a wine glass, I just thought it was really funny. But like he's asking Orson like, how are you feeling, bro? And Orson trying to explain about how he's really done. Like, and I was like, yo, do you know what, Orson? I'm glad to finally see you stand up and say, do you know what? Enough is enough. I'm not taking no more of this negative Nancy rubbish. He's like, I've got a 2-year-old Pitney. I don't stand for that from her. I'm not taking it from 48-year-old and trying to manage some 48-year-old behaviour. Like, now I'm done. And he's like, you sure? He's like, I'm 1,000,000%, 2,000,000% done. There's no friendship here. And then Alex is like, look, there's a room going around, yeah, about Hannah wanting to hold your hand to make Stephen jealous. And this is when my eyebrow did raise. As you've heard, yeah, I'm fully defending Hannah here, right? Because I'm like, I think you've been painted out to be quite bad. But the way in which Orson retold that story, yeah, was like something might go on. Do you know what I mean? Because he was quite coy about it, and he was like, "Look, there's a bit of flirting." He's like, "Look, what, to say it was that deep, I can't say it was that deep, you know." But you know, there was a little bit of flirting, and it's like, "Look, but you see it right there, yeah." He's like, "If you have wanted to make things work with your new husband, yeah, you should be flirting, no flirting, little flirting, any flirting with anybody, right?" And he was like, he's like, "But I already know, yeah, not Naguan, because ultimately it's boys in it." He's like, and boys ain't gonna be doing anything like that. Now the look that he gave to Alex, either, I presume it's some like stellar editing to make us think like, oh yeah, but it had the desired effect, because I was like, he didn't shut it down, he didn't say absolutely not, he just looked kind of awkward, and I was like, are you looking to move to Hannah? And up until that point, I was very much like, okay, look, given my situation, yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm obviously friends with a lot of girls, right? And I think some guys can get a little bit like, what's he saying? Until obviously I'm talking to them and stuff and start realizing that, oh, definitely the wrong tree. I'm barking up the wrong bush. So I feel like I automatically just assume that people can just be friends. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that, you know, he's just probably being a friend to her because everyone else is just being so like crappy to her and stuff. But then in that moment, I'm like, maybe you're not then, actually, and maybe there is something. Okay, but again though, for there to be so many different bits of flirting, like I mean, it's just dumb, isn't it? Because people are going to talk. Number one, my thing is, I just don't believe anybody would be that stupid. I just don't believe, like, Hannah does not come across as a stupid person. She seems quite astute and very emotionally aware. And like she said on the character, I'm willing to just be honest about my feelings, and I'm so glad as well, yeah, because it came out in this episode. Like, I already knew, yeah, that they'd slept together. I was like, I know for a fact there is something that is that is fueling this. Yeah, because something has made her go, there's something about this guy. And from the way he's been treating her, it can't be what we're seeing. So I was like, there has to be something else. And they've been intimate, they've slept together on the honeymoon. And I feel like he's now got peace, yeah. Like, and granted, I'm not saying that like he didn't come on here for like genuine reasons. Like he said, I've left my 4 kids, this is my last attempt or whatever. But I feel like because he's already had, the good goods and whatever, he doesn't really feel there's any impetus, really, I don't think, in like trying to do anything further, because he's already been there. He already knows that like she's got feelings for him. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's a lot easier for him to kind of shut down and shut it off and not, and almost, as I said, like paint her out, like, or happily let her be painted out to be this person. And the reason I'm saying that, yeah, is because I've got a friend of mine who's absolutely stunning. She's gorgeous. Like, whenever we go out, like, she always gets a like, I can be literally walking down the road with her, yeah, which, they don't know that I'm not her man. Like, and guys just be like, oh, what are you saying? Like, and not even like talking to her. Do you know what I mean? Like, because she's, such a voluptuous girl, just chatting in her breasts and just, he's saying, and when I say thirsty, yeah, the thirst is some next level. We've never seen water before dehydration, like thirsty. Now, because she is so attractive and she's just genuinely such a nice person, like, she'll be talking to someone, yeah, and in their head they're like, oh, she's flirting with me. Because some of the examples they were giving, yeah, because when Hannah heard about the foot thing, so I'm sorry, I'm jumping from bit to bit here. So Hannah and Amy later on that night, like, Amy's like, oh, Hannah needs a little bit of like, just a little bit of like TLC from some other people in the group and stuff, so it's not just me. And so Sasha comes around, and I love Sasha so much. Yeah, like, she's such a Warsaw girl. Like, I just rate it, man. She's just like, what are we saying there, man? Oh, what's going on, like, da, 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 da. And she's like, oh, have you heard about this rumor? And she's like, oh yeah, about you like putting your foot in someone's ugg or something. And she was like, pardon? He's like, yeah, the ugg and being really nice. And she's just like, so that's another rumor then. And she's like, oh god, I put my foot in it. I put my foot in it. She's like, no, the one I was talking about was with me holding Austin's hand. And she's like, oh, yeah, I guess something about like kind of flirting a little bit or something. And she's like, what? Because I touched someone's shoe and said that felt nice. Said it was soft. And I said, you got nice eyes. Now look, this is probably going to be quite a divisive thing, and probably some people say to me, Luke, like that is flirting. If you are not romantically connected with someone, and and you're like either trying to be romantically connected with somebody else, or you actually are romantically connected with somebody else, you giving compliments at like unfettered, unwarranted compliments, yeah, can be seen as flirting. So you would just not do it. But if your nature is just to be that kind of a person, right? Like as I said, my friend is like my friend is she's very engaging. Like when she's talking to you, she's giving you eye contact. Yeah, she's very smiley. She's very laughy. You know, sometimes at people's jokes, I'm just like, that joke was dry. Is it wrong for her to be just who she is? And if people take that as flirting, like that is only one interpretation. Like, I think this is the thing that I'm like getting frustrated with watching this, is that watching this like witches coven, yeah, who were already bothered. They were already bothered about these new people coming in and upsetting the apple cart and whatever. Because like to me, it's giving very mean girl. That's what it's giving, right? I understand that like if you think someone is being disrespectful in a way, my thing would be to say I'm going to speak to that person, rather than having these separate little bitching sessions, yeah, like, and having this one person that's on her own, like her relationship isn't working, instead of like trying to think that she's some kind of like master manipulator Austin Powers villain that's trying to be like, well, my marriage isn't working with my husband, who else isn't working? Oh, Austin's not working, let me try and take down that big chunk of man. Like, how about actually maybe she's just on her own, and actually having you making her feel like she's not on her own. You know, Holly had made a judgment of her from the very beginning, being like, I don't know how she's going to gel with everyone else. I think there's going to be clashes. Like, she made that judgment from the very beginning. So I'm not even like surprised really that like she has let. I mean, just again, I'm not there. Yeah, so I'm saying all this not having been there, but it just doesn't make sense to me that someone would rub up someone's foot with the other person being there and feel like that's absolutely fine. And the way that Hannah's saying it, she's like, I touched his ugly boots or Evans, like, oh, that's well soft. And like, you know, and if he has got nice eyes, like he has got nice eyes. I think I said that. I think from the first thing I even said. Doesn't mean I want to jump your bones though, does it? Like, and the way that like she said, I've got feelings for Stephen. I think that changes it, because like, you know, they've been intimate. Like, and she's like, I don't do that with everybody. Like, and the fact that she's done that, like, why would she be interested in your nice-eyed husband or your big 6'12" husband? Like, I'm actually interested in my own, actually, because he's the one I've got feelings for. But me being like, you know, just I don't know, man. I just think it's really sad, yeah, that someone can be made to feel so low, so lonely, like, and they've got no support system, none of the regular people around them and stuff, and like this bunch of people, is just choosing to kind of like just dump on her more and more and more and more. It's horrible. Excuse me, sorry. I think I'm coming down with the cold. Then they have like another witches coven, right, where Polly, Holly, Adam, maybe Alex is there as well, and Stephen are talking, and basically Holly is just really going for saying, I think she's a beg, she's hungry, you know, like, end of the day, like, you know, how you gonna be trying to like satisfy other people's men, and you can't, and you're meant to be satisfying your own, and he's basically saying, look, I said I wanted to leave, I didn't want any of this. He's like, so, you know, I just don't get it. Like, why would you be doing all this with all these other people, all these people's husbands, yeah? And you wrote stay, and Polly's like, you know, just to let you know, yeah, like, we all think she's gonna bite it the wrong way, right? And I'm just letting you know that we've got your back. We've got your back, because at the end of the day, like, that's not what you do. It's not what you do. And I'm like, you see, you, Polly, yeah. I have been very nice about Polly the majority of the time. Yeah, I've been like, you know what, the way that you've been treated by Adam, and you know, they've had their own little thing about, you know, this feels like a second honeymoon, and this and the other. I'm like, go there, that sounds really cool for you. Like, but even before this conversation she was having about someone else's business yet again, I'm like, you're so like, look, we don't know what Adam was like in any other relationship, right? But he's saying quite clearly, I don't do PDA. Now, there are other people that don't do PDA. I'm not a big PDA person, personally. Like, I just don't think, I mean, it's different if I'm in and around, like, my closest people, but, like, I'm not going to be out on the road and be like, oh, let me come and just the necks off you. No, thank you. I don't want to do that. I mean, holding hands. I don't know, like, but you know, everyone's different, and he's quite clearly said, "Look, we do the cuddles, we're doing this, we sleep." Like, you know, he's talking about like like running you a bath and stuff, like, and she's still like, yeah, you know, but in front of, I want it in front of people, I want it in front of people. This is a you issue. Yeah, this is a you issue. I'm not saying I don't understand how nice it can be to have these little things where, you know, they just show little bits of affection and stuff. I get that totally. But the fixation on you needing that, like, it was just yesterday he was trading you for camels. Yeah, it was just yesterday. So the fact that he's now doing all the kissing and the cuddling and actually being intimate with you, like, that to me is such a jump. How can you not be celebrating that still? How are you already asking for more? Like, personally, I just be like, you know what, this is a journey, we've taken our time to get here. Like, let him marinate in it, let him marinate in the feeling of, actually, it's nice to be cuddly. Let him get there. I need more back rubs, I need more, touch me in front of everyone, touch me, everyone see me, touch. Like, calm down, right? So you already got my back up a little bit there, because I was like, this is more about you, really, and you needing to feel secure that actually it doesn't matter whether or not someone is, you know, him saying, I want to run a bath for you with rose petals and stuff. Listen to that. Is that the same Adam that wouldn't even give you a compliment on the wedding day? Like, here's me defending Adam. I never thought I'd say today. Um, so so you've already gotten back up there, but then you sitting down there with your wine glass talking about, like, oh, you know, that, you know, we've got your back, Stephen. You don't know Stephen. You don't know him either. Do you know what I mean? Like, and you're so quick to like listen to the rumor mills, yeah, about all these different things, and not think, actually, does that even make logical sense? Now look, if this all comes out afterwards that actually she did all these things with the intent of wanting to flirt with them because she wanted to sleep with everyone's man, then I will eat humble pie until I've got that completely wrong. But I can't see logically how any person, if they you see the people that are really treacherous, yeah, you'll never know. You'll never know. They're never gonna come on a TV program where they know that people are chat, yeah, and rub up your foot in front of your wife and ask you to hold my hand in front of everybody and expect that, like, people aren't gonna talk about it. Let me talk about your nice eyes because that's a precursor to wanting to jump your bones. It's just dumb to me, like, and if someone can see that as flirting and like, oh yeah, yeah, flirting, and you're like, well, how insecure are you in your relationship then? Because if your partner's got nice eyes, yeah, what? They've got nice eyes. Let me tell them what's gonna happen. Does that mean that he's gonna divorce you and suddenly come for me? Like, what you? I just don't understand that. Anyway, so I think Hannah's just like really, because I mean, there's so many clips of her just being just like, people are making me out to be this really terrible person, and I'm not. And it just really struck me, like, you know, everybody likes to have like a punching bag. Do you know what I mean? Like, and can just jump on this person. And for me, like, I am struggling. Like, I saw things that Casper and Emma did. Sorry, that Casper and Adam did. I thought were far worse. Far worse than what they're saying that Hannah is meant to have done, and she hasn't even done it. Like, I mean, the flirting thing, like I said, I just think is a difference of opinion of what someone thinks flirting is and what someone else doesn't. Because I know for a fact that I would do probably some of those things. I mean, apart from that foot thing, keep that away from me. But complimenting someone's eyes, that's what goes down as flirting now. That turns me to enemy number one. Pathetic. It's actually pathetic. Oh, and also, before the end of the episode, Emma and Casper look like they've actually made some real headway. For the first time, I've actually seen like, I mean, it's the most glimmerest of hope, but there is something there that made me go, wow, they had a really good time. And the bike riding, the cheese boards, the wine, like, it just looked like it was a really, and I'm just happy for them both, actually. So yeah, let's see what comes of that. But yeah, the next episode is what got me mad. So, like, they're all gonna have a boys' night and a girls' night. So the boys' night. Oh, sorry. Before the end of all that, sorry. Hannah then goes to speak to Orson to find out what going. So she arrives there, and my man is in his dressing gown, right? And you know, at first she's all like, you know, we need to kind of address this because ultimately people are saying this and saying that, and he's just like, you know, don't worry about them, don't watch them. They're just stirring, you know, like, I've got your back, I've always got your back. And initially, again, I didn't think she was flirting with him. Um, But by the end, when she goes about go and put the kettle on, because I was like, well, you've come here now to say you need to set the record straight, you need to go and talk to people and whatever. Cool. Like, he's kind of giving some open vibes here that he's like, and I'm like, am I really seeing this, Orson? Um, and but then I'm seeing a bit more from her with some of her eye contact as well, and how, you know, I've just been so lonely, and it's just nice to get some attention to be bigged up from another guy. And I'm like, I do appreciate that, yeah, but your integrity's on the line here, and what you've been accused of doing, right? What you've been accused of doing, I feel like I'm now seeing this unfold in front of me. Do you see what I'm saying? So I spent all this episode being just like, you've been really, really harsh on Hannah. Like, what da 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 da. And then I'm seeing this, go and put the kettle on. Polly, put the kettle on. Are you alright? Now look, I'm not saying that people can't have cups of coffee and friendships and whatever, but there's this flirting. Do you know what I mean? Like, take my hand, we can hold hand in hand in the dinner party, take my hand. Like, now I'm going to go and put the kettle on. Cameras, you can go about your business now. What? So I'm now like, maybe then, your intentions aren't as pure, because what's that situation with Austin there? You know, so I don't know what comes of that, because it kind of ends at that point, to the next episode. So then, as I said, I don't know. I don't know whether I back her fully after that. But up until that point, like, I was very much like, I just think people are misunderstanding who she is and are coming for her because it's just easy. It's easy to hate on something that brings you collectively together to have something to hate on. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's exactly how people treat people like Meghan Markle and stuff. Don't know her, but want to hate on her and believe all these different narratives and stuff, because it's just easier to like hate on someone. So I'm like, okay, maybe they're doing that, but then I'm like, but you chilled with him in the dressing gown, just you one and a kettle on. So I don't know, but I will say, yeah, after seeing how Orson kind of did suddenly turn into like Jude Bigelow, some kind of like Hugh Hefner wannabe with the, I don't know if Hannah fancy me, but it's not now working out in after she married, not now working at my marriage. So, let's just see what happened. Let's just see what happened. I'm like, oh my god, I've been cussing off Rochelle for so long. And actually, are you an actor, bro? Then, are you? Because where has that come from? It's not even like it was smooth either. Like the moves you're looking to make, they're not smooth, bro. They're not smooth. I'm just like, what is happening here? Yeah. So, as much as I don't like Rochelle's tongue or Rochelle's mouth for people, I do have to wonder, could she have been right? But anyway, the bit that really got me back up here was when they've gone, they've split up for the next day to go on these boys' retreats, the girls' retreats. Stephen's basically saying it's done. Him and Hannah are done. I think Orson is trying to like stick up for her and stuff, and he's just like, it's done, it's over. Like, and then the girls are trying to speak, yeah, and I'm like, you know, Lacey's like, this is the chance for you to explain yourself first and foremost. Yeah, who are you for me to have to explain myself to? Like, if you've got a problem, right? What you need to do is address the problem. Why am I coming to you to be like, I feel like there's a problem? What you should be saying that, look, there's a lot of stuff going around at the moment. Like, I just want to just clear the air. There's more of you than there is of her, right? So, I didn't really like. I mean, Lacey's tone wasn't like nasty as she was saying it, but just the words of, "Here is time for you to explain yourself." I didn't realize that I was in the court. The court. I thought it was a country retreat, like Judge Rinder. Like, I don't know about that. But then she's like, well, I don't see the point, because you guys have already made up your mind anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, and naturally, like, again, when you're feeling like you're attacked and your back's against the wall and you've got all these people hating on you, like, I think I would find that quite difficult to try and maintain like an air of breeziness. Do you know what I mean? Like, because actually my feelings are hurt. You're a penny now. Let me get the glass. Now's not the time to get brave. Yeah? Now's not the time to get brave. Listen. That would be the last conversation you and I are having. Because you see you get a little bit of walk from this man that wouldn't even look upon you for the last 3 weeks, yeah. You got a little walk, and now suddenly you're feeling like Queen Bee. Beyonce sit down in the middle, yeah, with her glass, telling her about don't get brave. Who do you think you are? Nah, man, Penny, you can just go straight in the recycling. Like I'm not here for Penny at all. I don't even care. You know, the whole Penny Adams saga. Like, I have zero interest now as to whether it works, but it doesn't. Like, because you spoke about how you, like, when you were younger, were bullied, and how people treated you unfairly and stuff. And you are a bit of a bully, mate. Like, I've seen some of your antics around the dinner table before. Like, you know, when again you were when people were asking questions, and so when you decided to insert your big old nose in people's business, yeah, and people then started doing the same to you, you got a little bit about it. And now you've got someone who is literally like a wounded dog, yeah, but who everyone has dogged out and said she's this and the other. Like, she's already on the back foot because there's so many of you, and you're now starting talking about don't get brave. Look at the power dynamic there. Absolutely abhorrent behaviour. Like, I didn't like that at all. So then when I saw that whole about who's gonna switch and who would you, I mean, two things about this year which makes me like dislike the show in a way is that they try and fabricate this drama, because why are you gonna ask the question like who would you switch for? I mean, I guess it is a question, isn't it? It is a question. Like, if you could switch, would you switch? It is a question, but you know it's going to bring drama. You know it is. But then for Penny to turn around and say that she would switch for Stephen, which then begs the question as to why she's so quick then to defend Stephen's back. Just saying. And it would be interesting to find out whether he would switch for her. Very interesting. But then for her to say that she would switch out Adam, yeah, I completely understand what Adam was like. You're out of order. I'm doing all this, yeah. I've made so many changes, like, to accommodate us trying to make something work together because you wanted things to work together. And now you want to talk about how you want to switch me out for somebody else in front of everybody. Nah, because if that had been the other way around, he would have been crucified. He would have been absolutely crucified. And you got the nerve, Penny, to sit down there and do that. Penny, Polly, she. Nah, man. Like, and then want to start bawling. You want to go and start crying about it? Are you joking? Why are you crying? Nah, yeah. This episode got under my skin, man, because I just don't like people getting bullied. Number one, unless there's some like undeniable truth, yeah, that you cannot deny, right? That is like in your face. You said, blah, right? I don't like. I cannot believe that nobody said, you know what, let's ask her. Let's just ask her. But so many people are saying so many things, and it becomes easier to see little things. Like, so many people will say that they're flirting, right? And I wouldn't see it as flirting. So many people have said they've been flirting with me, and I didn't see it as flirting. Like, I can be talking to someone, and someone might think I'm flirting with them, and I'm absolutely not. I'm just having an engaging conversation with someone. And again, I'm a smiley person. Do you know what I mean? Like, does that mean that I want who you're with? No, not at all. And because I don't think any of the examples, aside from rubbing up someone's foot, yeah, is flirty. Saying someone goes to the gym, like, you know, be different than like, oh, you go to the gym. Do you know what I mean? That's a bit different. You know, you got nice eyes. Like, I can see her saying that in just a throwaway way. Like, but like, oh, you've got nice eyes. Like, that would be flirting to me. But I just think, yeah, I think a mountain's been made out of a molehill. I think she's been made out to be a scapegoat, like, and everything is just terrible because it's Hannah. And actually, it's masking the fact that he is checked out. He's done. And for whatever reason, I think he was done already. Like, I think they've slept together. He's probably found that like some of her ways, like, he slept with her probably too soon. He's probably found that like some of her ways are a little bit obnoxious to him, and yeah, I just don't think you're really my kind of person. And I think he's found something to latch on with, yeah, and try and paint her out to be this really awful person. And like, I just don't. Like, how can you hate someone that much and like and be that cold and vile to them? Like, you know, not even just say, look, let's just have a laugh then. Do you know what I mean? If we're not gonna have a marriage, let's just at least have a laugh. And so unless there's some other stuff that we just haven't seen yet, I just think it's wholeheartedly unfair. Unless, of course, yeah, that awesome situation is something. Because I think if that is the case, then you have kind of then just proven, well, then safe, I'll just do whatever I want then. Do you know what I mean? And I think that then takes away from your integrity. It's understandable. You're both in very, very poor situations. And actually, it might just be nice just to feel something from someone that isn't negative. Like, I get that. But I feel like your integrity should out, and like, you know what the backlash of that is going to be, and then it kind of validates all the other claims that people have made and say, well, see, we told her because look what she's gone and done there. Do you know what I mean? So I'm hoping that isn't the case, but I guess we'll see. But as for now, Penny, Polly, ugh, like I just cannot abide her at all, like at all. Jesus. I'd love to know what everyone else thought of this. If you did enjoy this, then do drop me a like and subscribe. But yeah, I definitely want to hear what people's perspectives are on this, like particularly around the flirting thing. Like, would you see that as offensive if someone had complimented your partner's eyes, or had said that, oh, you go to the gym, or, and again, I think the foot thing is different because, you know, I don't know, so looking at someone's trainers, or even, I mean, I've never felt a pair of Uggs myself, but I can imagine touching them up and, oh, they're nice. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then was it, oh, they're nice, and oh, you got nice eyes. Like, you know, how I just don't know how that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. People don't do that. They don't do that, and then have their foot under your table and be your friend. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are. And yeah, I guess we'll find out what happens tomorrow. I can't wait. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.